Hey, what's up, guys? We're excited to be back with y'all. I know 3 weeks ago we had an opportunity to sit down, me and Pastor Bobby, and talk a little bit about reopening our buildings. And I think we said then that 3 weeks can feel about like 3 years, and I think that's sort of what has kind of happened. We wanted to bring you guys another update today, and before we quite get into the full update, I do want to try to prepare you with something that we teach our staff all the time, and that is that we've got to be a people who are overly prepared and flexible. I think that we talked about this the last time, that like, man, we want to make incredible, the best we can, plans, and man, we want to put policies in place, and we want to try to be safe and effective and just all of that. But at the same time, we've got to be willing to understand that things can happen and things can change, and when they do, we may have to be flexible in that. And that, honestly, guys, that's what's happened. And so we are going to be kind of moving some things around and pushing the playbook back just a little bit and maybe adding some things on the front end. So I'm going to let Pastor Bobby talk about that.
Yeah, so, man, we miss you guys. We miss seeing you guys. We can't wait to get back together and gather again one day. And, you know, when we talked 3 weeks ago, I made sure to throw out there, like, hey, we're gonna come back and revisit this because, I mean, you guys have even experienced this week. So much can change in 1 week. And, you know, when we talked 3 weeks ago, we said, man, there's going to be a number of factors that help us make a decision on the timeline. And some of those factors were stuff that you guys shared with us in the survey that we did a number of weeks ago. You know, most of the people that took that survey said, man, we would like to see some different things happening for us to think about reopening. And we mentioned some of those last time we were here together. But the two of those that were sort of at the top is, hey, we'd love to see some of the social distancing stuff and everything around that sort of being loosened. And then the second is, we'd love to see COVID-19 cases in our area, our state, kind of heading in the right direction. There are also a number of things that we said, you know, we're going to sort of look towards in terms of decision making, having the policies and procedures in place, what's happening in our state, what's the school system doing, all of that. So obviously, over the last couple of weeks, since we got together 3 weeks ago, especially COVID cases and then what's happening with social distancing and all of that, that's obviously sort of heading in the wrong direction right now. You know, I think when we got together 3 weeks ago, the COVID cases, the daily cases have almost doubled since then. And obviously, just this week, Mayor Vaughn, Governor Cooper, what's happening with face masks, staying in stage 2, phase 2, all of that, has given us some pause to say, man, we probably, so that we can have effective gatherings when we get back together, we probably need to pause that and sort of delay and push it down the road a little bit. We've kind of gone back to the plan. We have a team of almost 10 people on our staff. That's sort of our COVID-19 team. And we've kind of gone back to the plan, and we've said, hey, when we do reopen our services, we feel like the plan we have in place is a really good plan, which is sort of a 3-part plan. Our Thursday capture service, reopen that. Let that sort of be the starting place for our church to reopen. Then move to Sunday services, adult services, and then eventually move to kids and student services on the weekends. We still feel like that is a really great plan, but that plan is going to sort of get moved back. The problem is, though, and I'll let Pastor Andrew talk about this a little bit, and this is what we talked to our team about even today. Like, I don't know what it's going to be 2 weeks from now, like 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. I don't think any of us do. And so it's hard to say, well, certainly 2 weeks from now, things are going to be like this, and so that's when this is going to start. 3 weeks from now, we may be in the exact same boat we're in right now. So the discussion we've been having is not that the plan needs to change, but do we need to do something on the front end of that plan to maybe allow some people to get around one another? So we don't have it all worked out yet, but we do want to sort of put that on your radar. I don't know if you want to talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know, like, man, this is not something that we are doing in isolation. I mean, we are part of a network of churches. We have been blessed, honestly, beyond my wildest imagination or dreams. We started Mercy Hill to have advisors from some of what I would call the best churches in our whole country. And, man, we're listening to them, and we're figuring out kind of some things they're doing. Obviously, our church is an apple from the Summit Church tree in Raleigh-Durham. And it was interesting to me that even when we came out and tried to put a little bit of a plan together in terms of a timeline, they would not even do that. I think maybe for some of these reasons, that they thought, man, we just don't know enough yet. And I feel like we're in a little bit of that boat. But that doesn't stop us from getting the right plan together. It's just when are we going to be able to kind of implement that plan? I think, the last thing I would say is we're not necessarily changing the plan like what you said. We are kind of adding to it. And I think what that means is, man, the on-ramp is going to end up being a little bit longer. We're certainly exploring some other things about some events that we might have an opportunity to do outside and get some people together that way. Certainly, I've preached the dirt road revivals before, literally, okay? So I've done it. And we could, the tent and the whole deal. Anyway, so I'm actually thinking that might be really cool. But anyway, we're looking at some different things that we can do in terms of adding to the the on-ramp to get us back. Guys, we want to gather as bad as anybody, in the church, and I mean that. I mean, I've said it before. I feel like the first time we come together and sing, I just don't know how we're not going to be like in tears. I mean, it's just, we're not meant to, we're not meant for the long haul to not be able to gather and sing with each other and all that. I think right now we're still in a position where we feel like that, with the plan that we have, pushing it back, it's still the right plan. And if that was to change in a radical way or something like that, I mean, that we're going to come back and we're going to have to change the plan and we're going to have to do it. But we are going to continue to be the church. The church never closed. It's still open and we're still running hard and we're going to still continue to do ministry. And so that's just kind of where we got to be right now.
Okay, awesome. I'd love to see the you preaching in a tent. No snake handling or anything like that, though, right? Hey, let me say this one last thing before we close. I just want to praise our staff because Pastor Andrew and I are sitting here on Thursday afternoon, and we were supposed to have staff service tonight to prepare for our actual service the following week, and our staff was 100% ready to go. So we got the room marked off for social distancing. We've got Mercy Hill branded face masks. We got registration system, new signage, new hand sanitizer station. So they are 100% ready to go. But we're having to pivot here a little bit and delay that. But I just want to sort of recognize them for working really hard to prepare all of this. So thank you guys. Thank you for being gracious with us. We're trying our best in this situation to make the best wise decision based on the information we have. So we love you. Can't wait to see you guys. Take care.